and so he got frozen at bat, and that's kind of what he was able to take from to bring to us to understand. A fighter has a horrible week, a fight week, for example, his girlfriend leaves him, or this or that, or something happens where people don't know and people don't care.
The AllStar app, the #1 app in the business. UFC, Bellator, One Championship, PFL, and more. Get the app right now. Link in description. Juancamilo, man, 2022. You haven't competed, man. You didn't compete the whole year. What was going on? I think that everybody wants to know.
Well, unfortunately, I had a little bit of a freak accident earlier last year where I was out for about 9 months. And when I was able to fight, I was cleared to fight around November. The UFC is so busy at this moment, man. I've had this fight set up for 3 months now. I asked for a fight in August, knowing that I would be cleared to fight in November, and they didn't get any back to me until now, until November for February. So, 4 months of just waiting to fight, 9 months of healing, and then 9 months from recovering from the minor suspension I had.
What exactly happened? A freak accident? Did it happen in the gym?
It happened in the gym during training. Yeah, unfortunately, something happened with one of my arms where the elbow dislocated and tore a bunch of stuff in there, and it just took time to be able to recover. And seeing the UFC doctors and specialists and all this stuff for it to be able to. So I wasn't even able to train for almost 7 to 8 months. I was out for a while. And during that time, I was able to coach at Extreme, and then they were able to bless me with that. So physically, I didn't get the best per se, but mentally, I'm a whole another person.
So no surgery or anything like that?
No surgery, thankfully. It was close, man. We were very close to it. Had to get a second opinion to be able to make sure that it wasn't necessary. Because one of the surgeons here, man, they wanted to do it the week, like almost 2-3 weeks after the incident. And that was still kind of too soon for me. And we got together with the UFC and their doctors, and they took me to the same doctor that did the surgery for Francis Ngannou's knee, and he didn't recommend the surgery for me at all. So I saw him about 3 or 4 times, and he dictated that what surgery is not necessary and everything's good.
From seeing your background, it looks like you're into gaming. So
Oh
was
yeah, I
there a
just
lot
built
of
this brand new game.
yeah?
50K, bro.
Damn. Hey, were you doing a lot of gaming in that time?
I do a lot of simulating. Like, I love airplanes. I play a lot of Warzone, a lot of studying, and yeah.
That's good. Well, I guess you could find a balance. You don't go too crazy just sitting there, like, because watching TVs, is so stationary. Just sitting around, you can feel sorry for yourself a little bit.
Yeah, it was tough, man. That's I mean, definitely the toughest thing I've ever been through in my life mentally. For me and the family that I had at the time. They were there supporting me, and I'm very thankful for them for that. And it just I had two options, man. Sit down and ponder and cry and be kind of a little baby about it, or put my big boy pants on and figure out what else I can do. And that's why I'm so thankful with Extreme, because they allowed me the opportunity to at least start coaching and getting my IQ better and learning so much more. And it's a blessing in disguise, unfortunately, to say that if I didn't have that, I probably would have fought many times and probably lost, because I'm not as smart as a fighter as I am now. I believe so. I'm very thankful to the Lord that it happened how it happened, and everything happens for a reason, and that's how I'm going to take it. And on the 18th, I'm going to be able to celebrate that injury, if you will.
When you got back into like full contact training, were you a little tentative with the elbow? Did you feel like you had to
Yeah,
be
a
careful?
little bit. It was again, it was a freak accident, man. It just fell the wrong way, wrong angle, and it just popped it all out of place. And I try not to think about it too much. Towards the end of the week, I started feeling a little bit of more soreness and anything like that. But thankfully, the Performance Institute has been there along the way the whole time, feeding me with physical therapy, the food, obviously, with the strength and conditioning. So it allowed me to feel more confident with the injury that I had, to where now I don't even think about it. I mean, every so often I do feel a little bit of something here and there because of what happened, but I try not to think about it, man. I just try to put my blinders on and just focus ahead, because if I think about it at all, or I let it affect me, then it'll affect me in training and in the fight eventually, right? So just trying to stay focused, and that's all I can that's all I have been able to do.
You mentioned a couple benefits of the PI. What else have they done for you, man, that has contributed to
Oh,
your development as an athlete?
Jesus, man, people don't talk about it enough. Unfortunately, a lot of fighters don't get to live here and truly get the benefits of it. Man, I broke down the math. The amount of money I save at the PI is about $3,000 to $4,000 a month, right? From strength and conditioning to physical therapy to the supplements they provide to the food, which is breakfast, lunch, dinner. They also add like smoothies and shakes and all this. So they have sports psychologists there to help. Um, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Like sleeping pods, red light therapy, hot tub, cold tub. I mean, it goes on and on. About 4 to 5 grand a month that I get to not spend in myself, and they get to invest in us. And from what I know, speaking with Forrest, like that's not out of the UFC's pocket. That's out of like a lot of sponsors that they have that they're able to do that. So a lot of fighters are like, oh well, I don't get to go to the PI, so why they're taking money away from us. And that was one of the conversations that I was able to have with Forrest about that. And he's like, no man, like 82% of this is paid out of the UFC. So that's just one of the things that I like to um, let the world know because I've had such a benefit from them, and I've been blessed to have them. From the people in the front office to the security guards, everybody's amazing there. They're all there to help us, and they're all genuine people, man. From the physical therapy team to strength and conditioning team. I mean, there's just, the list is so much I can't even mention everybody, man. Even the cooks are amazing. So like that's just how it is. And shout out to them for being there for us, and the UFC for having that for us there.
That's the first time I've heard that they have sports psychologists there. Do you utilize that?
I do. I've recently started to utilize Micah. Shout out to Micah. He works with the NFL. He works with NBA. He used to be a Major League Baseball player for the White Sox, I believe, for about 10 years, and he's been there for a lot. I mean, man, I can't even tell you all the fighters that see him. Obviously for confidentiality, but um, I can tell you right now off the top of my head about 10 fighters that see him at least, and I've asked him, hey, I was kind of not skeptical, just more or less like I didn't feel like I necessarily needed it. You don't feel like you need it until you go through kind of a trauma, if you will. And I asked them all if number one, if they used that benefit, and number two, if it helped them. And every single one I've asked, which was over 10 UFC fighters, said yes and yes. So after that, I started seeing him myself, and man, my mind is just completely different, in the aspect of the sport and learning about the brain, because he doesn't just sit down with a notepad and with the glasses, okay, tell me how you feel. He more or less explains to us how the mind works and how um, we're wired to be negative, of how we can replace that, and just becoming better humans overall and understanding ourselves better. That's really what he's there for, rather than, okay, let me cry with you. That's kind of how I thought it was at first, until I realized the how well he teaches us to strengthen our mental power. Your mind is like a muscle, right? The way he puts it is your brain is like a bicep, and if you do one rep, you're not gonna get big and buff, right? You have to do 100 reps every day, all the time, and he gives us the tools and the skills to be able to do the mental reps that I need to be able to become mentally tougher, stronger, and overall just better. And so that's there for us, and I'm happy that I'm utilizing it. So yeah, you're right, man. A lot of people don't talk about this, and I kind of want to be the one to, because I've had the benefits of it. So it'd be kind of ignorant for me not to talk about this, you know?
Well, what you've been through since, making your UFC debut, you suffered your first loss and then you had that injury. There's a lot of things you've been going through, man, leading into this fight. So I was talking with somebody, because moms are there for you to cry with, right? That's what
Sure,
moms are
sure.
for, right? Sports psychologists, especially the guy you're talking about, he was an athlete. That makes a huge difference, right?
Right. Yeah, man. The way he put it, like the first thing he said to me is like, "Hey, the reason I am what I am today is because his first at bat was with I forgot the pitcher, but a legend, right? And so he was at bat, and the pitcher threw the ball, and before he knew it, five different things came to his mind. If I don't hit this ball, my family's gonna I'm gonna get cut. I'm gonna lose this. I'm gonna lose that. And by the time he realized it, strike one, strike two, strike three, and so he got frozen at bat, and that's kind of what he was able to take from to bring to us to understand. A fighter has a horrible week, a fight week, for example, his girlfriend leaves him, or this or that, or something happens where people don't know and people don't care, right? So we're not here to talk about, what we're all going through. I mean, everything the last 2 months for me has happened so much to where I'm not even supposed to be fighting this week, next 2 weeks. But thankfully, I'm blessed enough to be able to do it. But he's there to help us understand how much deeper it is to that, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. And I think every fighter should probably take advantage of
Oh,
a sports
and it's
psychologist if
free.
they
That's like
can.
a $300 session for free. Like I said, dude, I really sat down and did the math. I do
Yeah.
strength and conditioning twice a week. I do physical therapy 3 times a week.
Mm.
I eat every single day. I see him once a week. It's a blessing for me. At least, unfortunately, I don't know about other fighters. I can't speak about them, but I can only speak for myself.
Phenomenal, phenomenal, man. And your opponent coming up, Clayton Carpenter. Thoughts on him and the style he brings?
I think he's a tough guy. I mean, everybody in the UFC is tough, bro. It doesn't matter who I'm fighting there. I'll never sit here and be like, oh, it's gonna be easy. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I feel like the style that he brings is tough and gritty, but that's kind of the style that I have. Where I'm a battery, bro. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to show you that I want it more because I do. I don't know his background. I just know mine. And as an immigrant coming from Colombia, hey man, it's kill or be killed, even in the city I'm from. I was never privileged, and not to say that he was, because again, I don't know him at all. But I had to build my way up from even my first amateur fight all the way up. And I never, I had many challenges to overcome, and I feel like this is just another one, and another one, and another one, and I'm mentally stable and strong to where I'm gonna overcome any challenges that I need to. I made it to my dream job, dude. I made it to my dream goal. I made my dream come true. My little boy dream was to become a UFC fighter. Check. Now it's time to put my big boy pants and let's go get that belt. Now my man dream is to get that belt, and to be successful, both in and out of the cage. So I try not to focus too much on my opponents. I mean, I understand 20% is focusing on them, and then the whole other 80% is me, myself, and I, both mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional. I need to be superb on February 18th, or else Clayton Carpenter or any other opponent is going to run right over me.
The immigrant mentality, man. I love it because I was an immigrant as well, just like you. I think
Yes,
that
sir.
there's a little chip that everybody has being an immigrant,
Mm.
right? And do you feel like that carries you a lot in fighting?
I feel like it does. It is a tremendous part of it because to accomplish the American dream, if you will, as an immigrant, you have to be superb than even the people that are here. There's 100,000 other people just like me trying to accomplish their own dreams outside of the UFC, not including in the UFC, especially now how much it's grown. There's a hungrier kid out there than I am. So I have to stay on top of the curb and use that for fuel. Use all the negative things around me happening in my life to be able to become better with it and accept the negative thoughts, accept the negative things that are happening around my life, to be able to use that for fuel. Kind of like my one of my coaches, Eric Nixick, says, put your blinders on and just tunnel vision, baby. Just focus on the task at hand. Live in the moment, and be able to grab it by the balls, if you will, and move forward and win and succeed. It's me versus me out there. It's always going to be me versus me, not me versus Clayton, not me versus the champ, not me versus number 5, not me number 10. It's always going to be me versus me, and every day I have to become better at beating myself, and that's how I'm going to take it from here on up.
We know the coaching staff at Extreme Couture, man. Phenomenal, phenomenal guys. I've spoken probably with almost all of them. And your training partners, man. Who are your drilling partners? Who are your sparring partners? Who has been giving you the rounds that you need to prepare yourself for your second fight in the UFC?
Oh, I love that question, man. A lot of people don't talk about this here. My main partners right now, there are a lot of UFC flyweights that I do go with, but they're not like my main partners. I mean, they do help me, like Amir Albazi. We have Manel Cop. We have a bunch of 35ers and different people like that. But my main ones have been Matt Alfonte, which I actually fought against at Tough Enough when I won my first belt. And it's just funny how life comes full circle now. He's been one of my main training partners, has been a blessing in my life, in and out of fighting. Trent Phillips, who's been around for a very long time. Lecco Pointer, who's coming up to fighting as well. And a lot of other people that all of us are family, man. When you go into Extreme, you see over. I think we took a picture the other day. I counted over 75 people. Both up and down. Chris Curtis has been helping me very much so with my stand up. I mean, Brad Tavares is there helping, Johnny Nunez. I mean, that's people outside of coaching, of course, that we can go break down the line to that have been able to help me there. Matt Burnell has been there. Justin James. I mean, dude, the list just goes on and on and on about people that have been able to help me. And even on amateurs, our amateurs are some bad mofos as well. Some people that just barely made their debut not that long ago. It's kind of, oh crap, the level of the talent is just getting amazing, even from the bottom up. I'm looking at the kids classes, and there's over 30, 40 kids there with Coach Bryce, uh, him coaching them, and I'm like, damn, bro, like all these kids. I didn't start training until I was 15 behind my parents' back. So you can only imagine, like, all these, like, I see some of these parents investing in their kids, doing privates with the head coach Dennis Davis, doing privates with Jake Shields, doing privates with Eddie Baracco, all in one week. And it's like, dang, man, like, can you imagine in 10 years what's gonna this 4 or 5 year old is gonna be 16-year-old or 8-year-old? It's gonna be crazy, man. And it's truly awesome to see how passionate people are, and how willing the parents are to invest in our coaches that deserve that and more, financially and being in the spotlight.
How do you see yourself performing, man? Picking up your first win in the octagon coming up.
Oh, I feel performing at my peak, the best I've ever felt, the best I've ever done. Like I said, man, it's me versus me, and I'm gonna win every time. you know, I want it more, I need it more. I'm gonna go get it, and that's it. It's there for me. I don't need a handout. I don't need anybody to give me anything. I just need an opportunity, and that's all immigrants want, is an opportunity to prove ourselves and to be able to raise the bar not only for others around and be able to inspire others, but to be able to show how hard I've worked these last 21 months that I've been out. And the last 15 years of my life have been devoted to this, man. I gave up an 80,000 a year job as an office manager in a dental office, driving the cars, having the houses, to making almost nothing because I believe in my dream that much that I sacrifice financial stability to be able to accomplish something. So when I am 50, 60 years old, I can say, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I fought the number 10 in the world on a 10-hour notice. Yeah, I lost, but I still didn't.